Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, in 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic had a profound impact on tourism, an industry that is characterized by the gathering of people, movement in space, and contact services. According to the estimate of the World Tourism Cities Federation, WTCF, in 2020, the total global tourist arrivals, including both domestic tourists and international tourists, dropped by 40.8% year-on-year, and global tourism revenues, including both domestic tourism revenues and international tourism revenues, fell by 50.9% year-on-year. In this highly extraordinary year, Beijing's tourism industry stood side by side with the global tourism industry through the stages of pandemic response, prudent reopening, orderly resumption, and full recovery, and developed the Beijing experience in controlling the pandemic and promoting recovery. Thanks to a combination of policies, Beijing's tourism industry has not only withstood the test of the pandemic, but also gained new momentum for sustainable growth. According to statistics, Beijing received a total of 180 million tourists in 2020, equivalent to 57.1% of the figure of the previous year, and registered 291.4 billion yuan of tourism revenue, reaching 46.8% of the level of the previous year. Now, I wish to share with you some of the policy steps we have taken in Beijing, which I hope could contribute to our exploration of an effective way to recover from the pandemic and restore order in the tourism sector. First, strengthening pandemic control guidelines for the industry with 11 professional programs, and keeping real-time update based on the changes in containment requirements. We have introduced 11 industry guidelines on pandemic control for graded scenic spots, hotels, rural tourism business operators, households, 3 types of cultural and entertainment venues, cultural centers, libraries, art galleries, and other public cultural service venues. Most notably, we are the first in the country to issue guidelines for travel agencies and tourism consulting service centers. All the pandemic control guidelines have taken updated on a real-time basis, based on the specific containment requirements of different stages of pandemic control. We have added new contents such as the guidelines for precision control and economic reopening, local outbreak management and emergency response, simultaneous containment of people and goods, and environmental monitoring in an incremental and timely manner. Second, supporting pandemic control with quality services, fulfilling the duties of the cultural and tourism industry, weaving a tight service network for pandemic control, and strengthening the shields of safety. When the pandemic first struck, we immediately canceled nearly 10,000 cultural activities, including commercial performances, closed nearly 9,000 cultural and entertainment venues in the city, and put 181 tourist attractions under closed-loop management. These measures have proved effective in stemming the risk of virus transmission caused by the gathering of people. By mobilizing all available resources, we helped over 28,000 people in outbound tourist groups come back home safe and sound. Third, ensuring effective pandemic control in key festivals and formulating work plans to facilitate tourism consumption during Labor Day, National Day in 2020, and New Year's Day, Spring Festival holidays in 2021. We made good arrangements for pandemic control during peak travel seasons so that tourists could spend their holidays in a safe and comfortable environment and enjoy services tailored to their needs. The 5-day Labor Day holiday in 2020 was the first major holiday after the recovery from the pandemic. Our work plan for managing the travel peak was made following the highest standard. The 8-day National Day holiday in 2020 was the first long holiday after we achieved decisive progress in the battle against the pandemic. We made coordinated plans for promoting pandemic control and resuming work and production. The market of cultural and tourism consumption notably strengthened, and growth in tourist arrivals and tourism revenues was higher than the national average. Fourth, providing tailored support for the industry, introducing truly effective measures that address real needs, making all-out efforts to secure the industry's fundamentals, and helping businesses work through difficulties and shore up confidence. We launched a 13-point incentive to jumpstart the tourism sector, temporarily returned 1.059 billion yuan of tourism service quality insurance funds to 2,149 travel agencies, distributed 380 million yuan of tourism development subsidies through transfer payment to various districts, and reduced or exempted over 100 million of taxation for cultural and tourism enterprises. Rural B&Bs struggling with the pandemic have been included in the policy-based insurance service scheme for suburban tourism in Beijing. With a total of 4,455 households and 3.0138 billion yuan of risk funds covered by the tourism insurance platform. We introduced special programs and measures to ensure the refunding for tours canceled due to the pandemic. Beijing ranks number 1 in the country in terms of the number of COVID-related complaints and disputes, the rate of dispute settlement, and the amount of losses recovered for tourists. We also took steps to ensure stable employment in the industry, such as deferring the inspection and verification of electronic tour guide certificates for 16,000 tour guides, and waiving the annual registration membership fee for 18,600 tour guides. Fifth, introducing diversified services, performing the role of service managers, focusing on key projects and benchmark enterprises, and cultivating flagship and competitive brands. Big enterprises, big projects, and big brands serve as stabilizers in the resumption of production across the industrial chain and provide the catalyst for the revitalization of the whole industry. A special task force has been set up for the Universal Beijing Resort project to pool the strengths of all competent departments. With the first phase of the project by and large completed and transferred to the operator, the resort is expected to be opened within this year. We have established one-on-one liaison mechanisms with leading tourism enterprises such as CYTS and incorporated their priority tourism projects into the city's annual plan. For example, the Goodbye Water Town has become the live broadcast site of the Animation Beijing program. Sixth, unlocking market potential, activating domestic circulation, exploring the markets of city resident tour and countryside tour, and fostering a booming nighttime economy. We have focused on stimulating domestic consumption and reinforcing high-end consumption to foster a new development paradigm underpinned by both domestic and international circulations. We have implemented 3 major tourism campaigns, that is, A Walk in Beijing, Light Up Beijing, and Fantastic Beijing Suburbs, and launched over 100 classic tourism routes. In the first Beijing Internet Famous Tourist Spots contest, 100 new landmarks of fashion consumption were made to the winners list in 7 categories to meet the emerging demand for self-driving tours and RV tours. The Tourism Industry Association established a specialized committee for self-driving tours and launched the 100-car self-driving tour and 10 high-quality self-driving routes. To start, the accreditation of star-rated B&Bs with the aim of creating a Beijing template of boutique rural B&Bs. The Light Up Beijing series, which have been launched to meet the leisure and entertainment needs of both local residents and tourists at different times of the day, aim to extend the visitors' length of stay and boost their consumption. Thanks to these efforts, Beijing is now a top 10 city of nighttime economy in China. 7th, promoting the integration of industries, harnessing the full potential of Tourism Plus and Plus Tourism, adding new consumption scenes and leveraging tourism's catalytic effect. Building on the railroad resources in the Beijing suburbs, such as the Huaizhou-Meiyuan and Tongzhou-Meiyuan railways and the rail services in the capital subcenter, we have launched a series of special tourism products and services, making a train ride of Beijing a major highlight of tourism consumption during holidays. We have supported the Daxing International Airport to cultivate its classic product series, that is, Daxing Meets the World, and expand the radius of its tourism services by connecting the scenic spot resources in the surrounding areas. We have also supported the opening of consumption spaces for public cultural services and cultural and creative products in the 2 international airports with the aim of creating a new form of on-arrival tourism experience. With the launch of the first group of 16 cultural tourism experience spaces, experience tourism consumption has become a new market trend. 8th, increasing the application of technology, promoting the development of intelligent tourism, boosting the public awareness of no reservation, no tour, and creating a safe, friendly, and secure market environment. We have stepped up the supply of intelligent tourism services, and all 141 ticket-based scenic spots now accept reservations online. By bundling all resources into the Meituan platform, we aim to provide a one-stop service where tourists could make and check their reservation and get answers to their questions in one single online portal. New technologies such as staggering reservation, peak warning, cloud queuing, and infrared temperature measurement have been introduced to make tourists feel safer in their travels. The smart tourism map of the city has been upgraded, with virtual tour guides now provided in 17 cultural tourism centers for the elderly and 228 Class A scenic spots. We have developed services tailored to the needs of special groups, retained the traditional forms of services for the elderly population and other groups with difficulties in using intelligent technologies, and introduced elderly-friendly service modules. We have supported the digital transformation of tourism enterprises and developed an operation model covering the whole industrial chain with the integrated functions of data traffic platform, OTA platform, third-party payment, and supporting service. We have accelerated the digital and intelligent transformation and upgrade of the city's tourism public services, piloted the construction of internet sensing facilities, and launched new digital cultural tourism products such as intelligent parking lots, unmanned hotels, and smart restaurants. Although COVID-19 has caused serious disruptions to the tourism industry, we are confident that with expanded vaccination, the pandemic will be brought under control. According to the WTCF estimate, global tourist arrivals will reach 9.545 billion in 2021, and total tourism revenue will return to the level of $4.5 trillion. Domestic tourism will become an important pillar underpinning the recovery of the tourism market. The future is promising and bright, guided by the vision of better city life through tourism. Beijing will continue to focus on the goal of delivering quality city life and world-class tourism services, and explore a model of win-win progress of tourism recovery and city development in the post-COVID era. We are confident that, with the concerted efforts of all fellow members in the global tourism industry, we will soon embrace the season of spring and embark on a new and glorious path for world tourism.